Welcome back, listeners. It is time for Secrets of the Entrepreneurial Mind. So, we are going to ask each of our guests for a secret to their success or a secret about something they would never, ever do again. that learning that secret helped them be successful. But this is just a place for them to share some wisdom. So, Matt Seefeld, what is your secret?
The curiosity, it's funny, Kevin said two things that made me chuckle because they're principles that I really take to heart with entrepreneurism is not accepting things as the way they are or the way they should be. I use this quote, I saw a man chasing the horizon. I shouted to him, "You'll never reach it." He replied, "You lie," and ran off in the great wide open. And I use that because a horizon line is not reachable, right? You're never going to reach the horizon. But man, if you chase that horizon, you will have an amazing journey with a lot of ups and a lot of downs. So I think that's one mentality I have. I think another one is attitude is everything. Attitude is something you control as humans. We control our attitude. We can be negative, we can be positive, we can be neutral. I've learned this in recovery. I do a lot of work in emotional recovery, emotional sobriety. And one thing that I've really learned is how the only person that can make me feel bad is me, right? What you say to me or what you do to me, I choose to either react in an adaptive way or a maladaptive way. So life is full of change. There's no such thing as good or bad, right? Kevin going to prison could be interpreted as bad. That's just change, right? But we as humans, we try to put definitions around change. And I just lost my father a couple of months ago. Is that bad? Is that good? It's change, right? Did I reflect on it? Have I thought about how he lived his life? Have I thought about how I'm living my life? Have I thought about what I want to be at 81 years old when my kids are grown up with grandkids? So if we as humans, and especially entrepreneurs, can realize that life is simply a matter of change. I don't know if you're spiritual or not. One thing that I had to really get grips around is that everything does happen in the order of which it's intended. So I do believe in a higher power, whether it's God or something else. It is what it is. That takes some pressure off of trying to be full of self-will. It takes the pressure off of trying to control outcomes, because we do not control outcomes in life. We control actions. Right. And again, another thing I tell my youth athletes, another thing I have to remind myself of daily, I control actions, not outcomes. And I control attitude. Attitude and actions, will go a long way. And try the hardest to stay away from being victims. It's too, we're full of this world of excuse making now. It's your fault. It's you did this to me. I didn't get the promotion. I didn't make the all-star team because of something other than me. And I think that that's another thing that I have to remind myself every day, and my kids, and people I work with, is stay away from the "you're victim" mentality. It's too easy to put blame of your consequence on others when you have to look truly at. I mean, I love what Kevin said about even having to own, even though you didn't know, really inadvertently know what was going on, legally or illegally, you still owned it. Right. You had to put ownership on it.
So now, okay, Kevin McCarthy, you have to follow that up.
Well, I had to follow him up, Fred. He said, I went to federal prison. I'm like, oh man, I don't know. I'm gonna have to start looking for better stories. I got sober, I can tell you some stories of that.
Oh, Matt, that's the beauty of the story I'm willing to tell, is because I realize that it's just my story, but my story is everybody's story, because we all have our own unique story, right? So that's what the audience resonate. They're like, oh, I didn't go to prison, but yeah, I get it, right?
Yep.
And that's the same thing with the entrepreneurial journey, right? You set out to build a dream, which is going to serve people, help people, solve a problem, whatever it is. And then also, it's okay to admit that we also set out to build a dream for us and our families. We want to be entrepreneurs to help, but we also want to receive the reward from that. That's okay. That's part of the journey, as Matt put it so nicely. Chasing the horizon. I'll never forget that, Matt. And at the same time, to couple with that curiosity thought, you had mentioned something, Matt, about, and I'm going to key in on the word should. Right. You have to get to a place, again, whether it's starting a business, running a business, starting another business, selling it, whatever you're doing, or whether you're simply leading a family or leading other people in the workplace, we have to understand that we have a belief system each of us bring to the table, the way we see the world. And we all see the world very differently. And we have to filter this curiosity through the idea that the world should be a certain way. My business should succeed. My product should be great. My service should be awesome. And if we're not careful about the way we frame our thinking, then we will create more blind spots when it comes to leaning into curiosity. And the question I always have people to ask is, why should it be? Well, I deserve to live a better life. I deserve the American dream. Why? Then you have to just start leaning in with curiosity. And it's not that you don't, but it's simply that curiosity where we lean in and we say, okay, well, then this is how I think the world should be, but why do I think that? And is it reality? Going back to the statement, I'll paraphrase: the numbers don't lie, or knowing the truth, knowing the data. It's like, yeah, I want the world to be a certain way. I want my business to succeed in a certain way. I want to deliver a certain path. That's okay to want it, but dig in for the truth. What is the market telling you? What are the consumers telling you about your idea? Right? Well, I make the best banana bread in the country. It's generations old recipe. I'm going to start a banana bread company. Okay, fantastic. Love it. That's the American dream. Build it. But don't build it at the sake of the truth. It's great banana bread. Now, the question is, will the rest of the public want your banana bread?
All right.
Yeah.
They might if you invite them to your backyard or to a holiday feast, but will they be willing to drive to pick it up and to pay for it? Those are the questions. So you have to ask a lot of really curiosity questions and face the truth and understand that there's blind spots that try to obscure that truth from you. And those, as Matt said, it's the blind spots are always us. It's not somebody else. There are blind spots. And if I had to sum up one of the biggest lessons I learned in prison, it would be own it. Own your blind spots.
Richard Gearhart?
My secret is going to be that it's possible to evolve. It's possible to become more skilled, to learn, right? And sometimes it's the hardest lessons that teach us the most, right? Success doesn't necessarily teach you as much as failure, right? And so when I was talking earlier about my challenges managing the law firm, I had to adapt and evolve so that wouldn't happen again. And I became a better manager. I became more patient, a better listener, and probably a little less judgmental. and that allowed the law firm to find new team members that helped out and helped us grow. And so sometimes those negative situations can be the best teachers. So it is possible to grow and to get better. And if you feel stagnant, then maybe the curiosity approach is the right one. Get curious and find out why you're not moving forward with your life in the way that you'd like to. And then, take it from there. But growth is possible.
It's okay to take on a new venture just because you think it's going to be really exciting and fun. And the money will follow if you do certain things. I mean, you'll know what to do. Marketing is a huge part of it. But it's okay to have the fun aspect be part of what you do, I think. And then the other thing that I would say about that is part of the reason that's successful for a lot of people is nobody is going to do what you do exactly the same way that you do it. And especially for the podcasters I talk to, there may be other podcasts. There's other podcasts about cats. And when Danielle Woolley and I are still doing our cat podcast, but we're doing it differently than anybody else. You're unique and you can do things your own way and you can find solutions other people may not think of and really stand out just for being you. So that's my secret.